What's up, guys? I'm Jalen H, and today I'm currently watching Fate Stay Night Episode 3. Last time on, the MC saw the summon battle of Ren and Archer versus the other dude, the other summon that they were fighting. And apparently, if you see that, you have to die. And luckily, the MC, by the end of the episode, was able to summon his summon, which was Saber, which is the strongest summon. So hopefully we see her like be able to just like fight everybody and like get him safe for today at least. And hopefully somebody can explain what's happening here to the MC so that we can have a fair fight at this point. But let's get into the episode. Three, two, one.
I am Saber, your servant. I have come in response to your summons.
Luckily, there was just a big magic circle
You
on
were
the
my
ground.
master, correct?
What? Your master?
Yeah.
Yes, you summoned me, and as a Saber I heeded your call. Your orders, master.
Can you save my
sword will
life?
be at your side from here on forward. From now on, whatever fate awaits you awaits me. The accord with us has now been struck.
What? Hey!
Where you going? Oh, she just immediately just got to work. Thank you, man. I wonder if the summons can sense each other or something. Hey, if she's the strongest one, can she just like one shot him real quick? Light work.
Her weapon is invisible.
What are you, a coward?
Crazy.
Why don't you stop hiding behind that weapon and reveal it?
Nah. I wonder how this invisible sword works.
Come now, Lancer. Quit now and you'll disgrace your own kind. If you won't come to me, then I'll come to you.
Let me ask you a question first. Your noble phantasm. It's a sword, right?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe an axe. Or not. Maybe I have something completely different, like a bow.
If she's whacking you with a bow, you're a bum.
This is just our first encounter. Let's give it a rest and call it a draw.
Uh,
I always finish
he's
what I
quitting?
My only objective tonight was to gather information. I had no intention of tangling with a servant. However, if you're going to insist on this... All right, Saber. Your heart's
There's no
mine.
way she loses to this.
Hey, Boosh!
Come on, girl.
Was that a hex? No. Perhaps a cause effect reversal.
So, you
What does that
dodged my
mean?
Gabe Bulge's fatal blow.
What did you say? Then could it be that you were Ireland's famous Son of Light?
What does that
The
mean?
tip of that spear. The gay bulge is enchanted to breach any defense. That spear targets its enemy's heart and then moves on its own to avoid anything that impedes that target.
Interesting.
And that spear is only handled by the Hound of Kulan.
I hate
Ooh.
that. Every time I use that attack, I run the risk of exposing myself. I guess there is such a thing as being too famous. I know according to the rules I'm supposed to fight to the death if my true identity is revealed.
Right.
But unfortunately, my employer's a bit of a coward. I was given explicit orders to head back if my attacks failed.
You're leaving?
You're more than welcome to follow me, but if you come, you best come prepared to die!
I just don't
Come back
believe
here.
she would lose to him. Like, if they fought to the death right now, I still think that Saber should win. She just healed
Who
that?
the heck are you?
Must you even ask that? I am a Saber, your servant. As I recall, you were the one who summoned me, so you should know all too well why I'm here.
You're a
No, I
Saber
don't.
servant?
Can you explain the
So
situation?
perhaps it's easier if you just call me Saber.
Okay.
Okay.
That's kind of an odd name. My name is Shiro Emiya. So then I guess my next question is...
Now I understand. You aren't exactly a typical master, are you?
Master?
No.
I'm right, but be that as it may, you are still my master. Now that our pact has been concluded, I will never once do anything to betray you.
Hey, hold on a sec.
Okay.
Stop calling me Master, will you? It's freaking me out.
Then I will call you Shiro. Yes, I think I like the sound of that name much better anyway.
Cool.
Shiro, heal this wound for me.
Do you
How?
really think I can do that? Sorry, but that's way beyond the level of magic I can do. Besides, it looks like it's already healed up on its own.
Fine, I still have plenty of strength. My own regeneration only took care of the exposed part. Nevertheless, it shouldn't hinder me in one more battle.
Wait, don't. As your master, I say don't go and fight. Are we supposed to be able to know healing magic?
Vanish!
What was that?
Stop it, Saber!
This is Archer's master. We'd be foolish not to kill her now.
You keep going on about this master stuff, but
I don't even know what that is. Explain it to him so you can explain it to me.
Why you're here? But if you stop trying to randomly kill people long enough to tell me, I'll listen.
Randomly kill people? You're not making any sense. You never turn down the opportunity to slay your enemy. I will not obey such
She's not
commands.
my enemy.
You go around swinging invisible swords at people, especially if they're wounded.
So then, are you going to lower your sword now?
If an enemy's before me, my sword will stay raised.
So you're telling me a servant, a saber at that, is willing to disobey her master?
Aren't you
Nice.
Tosaka?
What's that?
Good evening, Emiya.
Can you please explain to me the lore? Oh, thank you, man.
I expect that you're at least capable of that, Emiya.
Awesome. Are you kidding?
Nah, I can't do any of that.
What? You can't be serious. That's like the first thing they teach you.
They taught you?
I'm sorry, but I only know the few things that my dad taught me, and I'm afraid even that stuff is nothing formal.
Huh? So you're saying you can't create a path, or control the 5 elements, or anything?
Nope.
Nah.
So, you're a complete novice then?
Well, no. I can do reinforcement spells.
Of all the magic you chose to learn, you chose that?
Yes,
And you're sure there's nothing else you can do?
correct.
That's it.
How could someone like you manage to summon a saber then? So I'm guessing you've no clue as to the situation you're in.
Situation.
You've been dragged into a certain tournament of sorts. It's the Holy Grail Wars, a battle royale between 7 masters.
What are you
Okay.
talking about? There's a war?
You recently had a stigma appear on your hand, right? Those
Yep,
3
yeah.
command seals are your mark as a master. So you see, Emiya, you are then definitely a master.
Okay.
Every few decades, 7 masters are chosen. Each master is granted a servant. Once that happens, a battle to obtain the Holy Grail begins to unfold. I was chosen to be a master as well. As long as you have your command seals, your servant will continue to obey you. The command seals give you absolute authority over them. Those seals
Okay.
are what makes them obey your will. They can even force them to do something they don't want to. However, each time you force them against their will, you will lose a command, so you must always keep your last command.
Hold
I
on.
see.
I still
Okay.
don't get any of this.
But what's a holy grail, though?
It looks as though you still haven't fully materialized. I assume it's because of your master. His incompetence must have interfered with your summoning.
Correct. Shiro doesn't possess nearly enough magical power to complete the process. So I can't become a spirit here, and regenerating my force will take time.
Interesting.
Good grief! If I were your master, I could take care of both those problems in a matter of seconds.
So then, are you saying I'm not fit to be a master?
You're not even close, genius.
Help
Very
me.
well then. We should get going.
Go where?
We're going to pay a visit to the man who oversees this whole war.
We can do that? Really? Base Day night.
Oh, come on. Don't you have anything better for her to wear?
Huh? Hey, don't look at me. I asked her to take that armor off, but she wouldn't do it.
Use one of your holy commands to make her take the armor off. That'd be
So this
hilarious.
supervisor guy lives here?
Yes, this is Kotomine Church.
Shiro, I think it's best if I wait out here.
Why?
I accompanied you to this place so I could protect you. If this church is where you'll be tonight, then I'm sure I'll be able to find you within its proximity.
Okay.
Tosaka, just how much do you know about this priest anyway?
Well, I can tell you he's a Magus. And he also happens to be my legal guardian. You see, he's kind of served as my second teacher.
He's a
Oh.
Magus? You mean this priest also belongs to a pagan council of mages?
Yes, and that's why he can be such a pain in the ass. His name is Kirei Kotomine. He was one of my father's pupils. We've been basically forced to put up with each other for 10 years now. We would have
see.
had nothing to do with each other if I'd had my way.
And I would have preferred not to have a student who can't show her teacher respect.
Hello, Kirei.
I brought the 7th Master to meet with you and talk with you. He's technically a Magus, but he's so unbelievably inept that it pained me to ignore it.
Tell me, my son, what would your name be?
Shiro.
Shiro Emiya.
Well, Emiya. And you're certain that you're Saber's master?
Far
Well,
from it.
yeah.
Listen, all this stuff about masters and Grail Wars, I don't understand any of it.
Yes, that is a problem. Very well. Seeing how this is the first time Rin ever asked for my help, I believe the least I can do for you, Shiro, is to oblige.
Nice.
Listen to me. Being a master is not something you can hand from one person to the next. And once you've become a master, you can't just walk away from it either. Those
Really?
command seals on your hand are a stigmata. The role of master is a trial that has been awarded to you. You can't turn away simply because it's inconvenient. If you truly want to give up your status as master, your only option is to obtain the Grail and make your wish.
And what wish is that?
It can be any wish that you desire. If you win the
Wow.
Grail, you'll
Any
have the
wish?
rare chance to have the contents of your soul wiped clean. In fact, if you wanted, you could even go back in time and start your life all over. So if you get the opportunity
I can
to
change
make your wish
reality?
and it comes true, you'll be thanking your lucky stars you were chosen to be a master. If you want to rid yourself of those invisible burns, your only choice is to accept your stigmata.
Kirei, would you please get to the point? I only brought him here so that you could explain the rules to him, okay?
Guess I'll cut to the chase then.
Yes.
Here are the
thank you.
underlying principles behind the Grail Wars. It's a series of battles to be fought by 7 masters in conjunction with their servants. Participants in this war are not chosen simply because they wish to be. They are chosen as part of a ritual to determine who is the most worthy to possess the Holy Grail.
You're kidding! You're talking about the actual Holy Grail?
Trust me, when
Like the
Holy
one?
Grail materializes in this city, it will be the genuine article. The miracles performed by the servants should be proof enough that this is real. Servants are beings who approach the level of high spirits. They are either legends or historical figures who have been summoned forth by the Holy Grail and materialized here in physical form. In theory, they are to remain in spirit form and stay close to their master's side. They are to materialize and fight only when the need arises.
Yes, but Emiya's servant is a bit different. Because her master is an amateur, she can't take spirit form.
The Grail's ability to
I see.
resurrect the dead could easily be considered magic. If the Holy Grail is capable of this power, it's safe to assume it can bestow equal or greater power to its beholder. In light of this, questions challenging its authenticity should be moot.
Alright, I'll assume for now that the Holy Grail exists.
Okay.
But why do you have to kill people over it? If it really has all this power, why don't you guys just share it then?
A logical question. to
That's a
ask,
good question.
but
That's a good question.
unfortunately, we don't have that choice. The 7 masters are the ones the Grail feels are the most worthy to possess it, and it uses these wars to determine who is the most capable of all. Everything is carried out by the Grail itself. The selection of the masters, the summoning of the servants, all of it. This war is a tradition. It's a time-honored ritual where people chosen by the Grail die in an effort to attain it.
But just because one person can win doesn't mean you gotta kill all the masters.
I
in the
don't want to
process.
kill all these people.
There's no rule that says in order to attain the Grail, you have to first eliminate all other masters.
Huh?
The Holy Grail is a spiritual object. A human can't even touch it. Only servants who are also spirits can have contact with it. So, Servants are the key. Therefore, the objective is to eliminate all servants but your own.
So I just gotta focus on the servants, right?
I see.
Okay, it's starting to make sense. If my
That-
servant is the
yeah.
only one left at the end of the war, then no one can stop her from attaining the Grail.
Exactly. So if you take out a servant, then there's no need to kill their master as well.
Well then, how come you guys just didn't tell me that in the first place?
That's what I'm
Just
saying.
because you decide to fight in the Grail Wars, it doesn't actually mean that you're gonna end up dead.
Let me ask you something. Do you think you have the ability to defeat your own servant?
No.
Servants are quite powerful. It's hard for other servants to defeat them, much less an ordinary master. But servants can't exist without a master.
Whoa.
Which means
The easiest way to take out a servant
It's to kill the
is
master.
to take out their master.
Yes, but a servant doesn't immediately disappear after they've lost their master. Another master can step in and use their command seals to form a new pact with them. A
How?
master who's lost their servant and a servant who's lost their master can create a new accord and rejoin the battle.
Really? Wow, that's
What happens
interesting.
if you use up your command seals? Wouldn't that set your servant free? And then they could go and make a pact with a different master.
that's entirely plausible. If you use up your command seals, then you are relieved from your duties as master. Of course, if Amagus were actually to do this, he'd be forever branded an incompetent, or worse, an incredible fool. But if that should happen to you, I'll personally guarantee your safety. That's my responsibility as supervisor of these wars, and I shall do my best to uphold my position.
Okay.
This is the 5th time that our fair city has played host to the Grail Wars. The last one was 10 years ago.
Where
Are
my
you people
village
insane?
burned down.
You're telling me you guys have done this before?
Yeah.
Past, the Holy Grail Wars grew to become incredibly brutal. Masters were driven only by their desires, and they began to butcher one another indiscriminately. Because of that, the Council of Mages selected a supervisor at the very beginning of the Third War, and that man happened to be my father. And so consequently,
That
I
makes
have
sense.
inherited the same post.
Wow. It sounds like the Grail Wars have a way of bringing out the ugly side of people.
Really?
I can
Well,
agree with
yeah,
that.
I mean, the earlier masters were willing to break the rules of the Magi to get what they wanted, right? So imagine if someone like that won the Grail. Just think of what could happen if they got their wish. It would be nothing short of a huge disaster.
That's
Some
what I'm
mage with
saying.
that kind of power?
It matters not what kind of person attains the Grail. The Council of Mages will not interfere. Our only role is to make sure the rules of war continue to be followed. If you take issue with that, then become the victor. After all, relying on others can sometimes be incredibly inefficient.
Don't tell me what to
Okay.
do. I'm not interested in fighting this stupid war of yours. It's got
Yeah.
absolutely nothing
I
to
don't
do
want to
with me.
do this.
So you're telling me you don't care, even if someone unfit to possess the Grail should win, knowing they could cause great harm to others? And you're saying none of these facts have piqued your interest about what happened 10 years ago? As the last Grail War was coming to an end, the Grail was touched by someone who was unworthy. We have no idea what this master was hoping to achieve, but we are all familiar with the atrocity that emerged as a result of his actions. Yes, they say the cause of that fire is still unknown, but it's actually the scar left by the Fourth Holy Grail War.
I see.
What's wrong? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm all right. So, what was the outcome of the last war?
Yeah. What was it?
There wasn't one. Like I said, the Grail was touched by someone unworthy, and the war ended. But before him, there was another man who touched it. But you see, that man had done his best to avoid fighting, and so the Grail would not completely materialize. When all 7 servants have gathered, the Grail will appear and then begin to materialize. But remember what I have just told you. This man chose not to fight, so the Grail refused to acknowledge him as its rightful owner.
I'm afraid he's right. Therefore, any strategy that tries to avoid confrontations with
So you have to fight at least once or something?
Referring to who tried to avoid fighting last time was basically a coward.
Wait a sec. This master you're talking about was you, right?
About halfway through the battle, I quit. Unfortunately, I had lost my servant, so I came to my father and asked for protection. That's all I wish to say on that subject. Without a servant, a master is no longer qualified to win the Grail.
Let's see.
When the tournament reduces all 7 of you down to just 1, the Grail will then reveal itself to the victor. I'll ask you again. This is your last chance, Shiro Emiya. Time to decide. Will you or will you not be a master in the Holy Grail Wars?
I don't want to, man. I don't really see why he would say yes here. But maybe he'll just say
Do
yes.
it.
Sure.
All this is true. If the Grail Wars did cause that fire 10 years ago, then there's no way that I can just stand by and let that happen again.
Well, that's settled. Okay, let's go then.
Rejoice, my son. You have a chance to make your dreams come true. You need a distinguishable enemy to see your dream come to fruition. You may not want to admit it, my son, but in order for virtue to prevail, I'm afraid there must first be an evil that needs to be defeated. For you, your most noble aspirations and your most despicable desires all flow from the same source. So please, stop pretending you don't know this. It's a conflict that's been going on within human beings for centuries.
I don't think Shiro is willing to kill somebody ever.
You're a good person, Tosaka.
Oh,
Thank you.
Please, don't flatter me. I
Yes.
don't respond to it.
Shiro!
What? Who is it? What is that, man? A clubber? Berserker? What could his name be?
Mister, this makes it the second time that we've met.
What, you just gonna fight me now, man? Wow. I do appreciate episodes where like I just gotta lock in and listen. You know what I mean? You know, I don't like want to see them too often, but I do like locking in and listening, and that's what I did. I think I did have an understanding. If Shiro understands, I understand because they told us at the same time, and I'm pretty sure I have the same information that he does. I mean, I do have a couple more questions, but I might as well just wait. The story would tell me. I do think this is a cool concept. My only like real question right now is like the Holy Grail is gonna spawn after the 7 masters show themselves, or will it and then it will spawn in front of the winner? Because how could somebody unworthy have touched it in the first place if it only spawns for the winner? I'm not going to pretend to be confused here. I'm going to just accept what they told me, and then I'm going to wait for more information.